On YouTube, you type in Wages World and you go to that channel. A family guy, beautiful, 3 beautiful daughters, a beautiful wife. He's a family guy, and also he's searching for truth. Check out Wages World. Why am I mentioning him? Well, because he mentioned and had a nice shout out for my channel. So why would I not mention it? Seriously, he has a nice community. Already people from his community are over, and when communities mingle, it's just a positive thing. Let's check this out in the sky. Before we get into the moon, I want to go back into Aristarchus Crater and really explain what I have found. Why are they hiding the sun? Why are they hiding the moon sometimes? It happens a lot that we see the chemtrail planes going directly over the sun. And unless they're all 3 of these are going to Nunavut, I don't think that it's necessarily planes with people in them. And then again, could planes with people in them do chemtrails? Oh, probably, but I doubt they would have room to store the tanks. But either way, chemtrails exist. Geoengineering has existed since 1947. It started in New York because of drought and many other reasons, and thus continued around the world. Let's plunge into Aristarchus Crater. So in Aristarchus Crater, for those of you who have followed my research since the beginning, you guys know that when I see a light, there's always a black spot also with it. Always like there's 2 objects. So it's either that dark object. I mean, now we're pressed right up into Aristarchus. You know, there's none of the surface that we can see, obviously, but we can see the lights. And that's where we are, just zoomed out. It's Aristarchus Crater right inside the hazes, right? But there are lights moving around. All the time? Yes, all the time, and they move in different areas. If you go back, there'll be different lights. So could it be some type of traffic on the moon? This is live footage, and it's not manipulated. It's literally something on the moon lighting up. So they say it's the sun that's making the surface bright. Well, you see, okay, that could be. But I'm telling you, it's not the sun that's making these lights light up, because the lights are moving. Hey guys, somebody asked me if I could get some daytime UFOs also. Well, this is some footage that I already have, so I'm going to show you guys for sure. I got one just actually 2 days ago. You guys know it. Check in the videos. And thanks to Wages World, his community for being here, and to him for the the encouraging you guys. And his community is always welcome. And I hope my community will also head over to Wages World and check them out. So the moon during the day, we bring down the exposure, and that's what I'm going to do after. So literally, we see a UFO going by, whether it be a UFO or a satellite. It's one or the other. Almost near impossible to see, right, during the day. But in reality, if you're always filming in the same area, and you look at the footage and slow it down, sure, it could be that you see something going by. As for bugs, guys, you're going to know when it's a bug, okay? You're definitely going to know when it's a bug, because bugs don't show up like this, first of all, when you're zoomed out looking at the moon. So there are those flashes that I saw on Venus. I have a lot of footage that I also didn't show, and 2 different events of the same characteristics where I could see lights flashing on Venus. Now, we could think that this is an explosion, but how could it be an explosion? It would have to be like, what, 20 objects actually hitting Venus? I would doubt it. But it does really look like Morse code. It looks like a signal of some type. But listen, it's literally Venus is flashing, right? I thought the bloody planet was going to explode, all right? When you look at it, and we're going to slow it down, which is, I haven't showed it yet, really slow it down, okay? Now look how bright it is. First of all, look at that. It almost, I like saying it resets itself. But in reality, this is at the moment, you guys will remember a few months ago when Venus was extremely close. It almost looked like a small moon, right, in the sky. And this being infrared, by the way, this is infrared. So did you see that flash? How slow? I showed it, where you see the intensity also of the light on the graph on the left. It's just boom, an overwhelming intensity of light that comes from Venus. So of course clouds can go by and cause an effect, right, of blindness, and also a very similar flashing. But this is not the same. You see literally like it was on a dimmer, the intensity going up really slowly, and then boom, goes down to almost okay, get this, it flashes, then look at the light here, you'll see on the left. This is what I meant by the light intensity. Sorry, it wasn't up. So the flash that's here is so intense, and then it goes down, and then Venus for some second or two gets even lower in light than it always has been. There, you see it almost go out, or look like it's going out, and this is literally live right in front of my eyes with the infrared camera. And it looked so bright, Venus, but obviously you don't see it unless you're looking with the infrared camera. And I was looking through the camera, and of course, look at the incredible flashing. And then you have that object that's over top of the back, incredible object that looks stationary or whatever. Obviously, when objects are far, they can look stationary. But look at the flashing. If that's an explosion, how could it be? Because there's just so many explosions. And not just that, look at the interference, the static, the light that's occurring in the camera. It's totally being picked up. So they are talking about radio bursts, by the way, and they have been for the last few months, saying that in outer space, maybe not Venus in particularly, that there are radio bursts. And what else? Photons, gravitational waves. There's lots that they're talking about. What else are they talking about? They're talking about signals, lights coming from objects, like sometimes massive objects are out in interstellar space. Let's plunge and change totally to the moon. Just go right onto the surface. You see these patches that are there? Okay, why are there patches everywhere? And in all my research, look what it's hiding. I see bridges, I see lines right here. You see that path that's going like a U shape there with all connections? Hang on, I'll show you a bridge or a straight path. Actually, never mind. How about a snake head or cobra head? No, but it's a towering object on the moon, and there's another one really close to it. Can your eye pick it up over top? I'll show it to you and put a circle up around it. You can see the shadow coming off the bottom of each of them. They're high enough off the surface. What they are, I have no idea, but I have seen a lot of them on the surface. There it is a little closer, or a different angle. They're just towering objects. And look at that, where you often see 90-degree angles, pipes, tunnels, structures, I don't know, but there are a lot of them, and they're all leading to and from most of the craters. So you can't help but wonder, those patches that you see, it's definitely hiding some stuff on the surface. All right, this is pretty important. I want to show you guys this. This is Copernicus Crater to the left, and that's Copernicus right there with the arrow exactly right there. So imagine, not for nothing, NASA has never landed there. This is to the left of Copernicus. Look at the surface. I want to show you what it looks like. The anomalies on the surface, and imagine trying to land there. They wouldn't be able to do more than 5, 10, 15 miles, that's for sure. There's whether they look at that 90-degree angles, that reminds me of pyramids, right? Or I'm not trying to bribe anyone, but just look at what we're looking at. Layers, 90-degree layers and steps, and almost looks like Mayan at times, but this really is a surface. This is Aristarchus Crater, the plateau. Again, a very similar surface, almost identical, but we do see something that looks out of place, like lines. You don't really see it as much here, but we'll see it over to the right, like these structurings there, whether it looks like literally a line of toothpaste on the surface, but it's jumbled up over each other. So there's different layers of structuring, anomalies, natural or not, on the moon, and that's what fascinates me. Here you see some lines, some dark lines, leaving Aristarchus Crater, the plateau, and that little hole there is not so little once you zoom up, and you really see there's even a line going straight across it in the center. We see these dark lines on the surface, very hard to see. See that? And continue that up, and it goes up all the way to Aristarchus Crater. What is it? I don't know, but they're there. I mean, listen, if ever it comes to be talked about that there is someone up on the moon, they're definitely going to talk about those lines, and they're definitely going to talk about probably everything that I'm mentioning. Here with the green filter, what do you think of that? Aristarchus Crater, You can see the surface is so bumpy, up and down. I mean, there is no straight surface, right? Even Apollo 11 area where they said they supposedly landed. You see here, I don't know what you guys see in this image. Some might just see a blurry image, but this is right beside Aristarchus Crater, and there are pipes and tunnels or constructed objects. When I say pipes, it's because I'm seeing long lines of something constructed, and you could see them buried also.
This is Houston. Say again, please.